Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second lecture of the 2026 REL Distinguished Lecture Series hosted by the Department of Religious Study at the University of West. My name is Viraj Sakya, and I'm Chair and Associate Professor in the Department of Religious Study. Since the fall 2020, the Department of Religious Study has proudly organized this Distinguished Lecture Series, and we are delighted to mark 5 years of this initiative. Throughout this time, our goal has been to deepen understanding of religious tradition, encourage meaningful intellectual exchange, and connect our community with scholars shaping the future of religious study. So it is my great pleasure to introduce today's distinguished speaker and my friend, Dr. Sanjoy Barua Chowdhury, who has traveled from Bangkok, Thailand to join us. Dr. Chowdhury is a lecturer and faculty member at the College of Religious Study at Mahidol University, and he earned his PhD in Buddhist studies from Mahat Chulalongkorn Vidyalaya University in Thailand. His research focuses on Theravada Buddhism, particularly the history, heritage, and textual tradition of South and Southeast Asia. With expertise in Pali, Sanskrit, Bengali manuscript, he has published widely on Buddhist philosophy, Buddhism in Bangladesh, and contemporary Buddhist movement across Asia. And today's lecture is titled Bongabhumi's Dharma, Exploring Buddhist Transmission in Bangladesh. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Sanjoy Barua Chowdhury.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Shakia, for your very generous introduction about me, and thank you all of honorable monks, my old friend, and all brothers and sisters. And I'm very happy to be here. And of course, once again, thank you to University of the West, and of course my host, Dr. Shakia, once again. Okay, so let us begin our session. So you see this title as Bongabhumi. So maybe you may be curious that why I use this title. So this one that that Bongabhumi that we used in Bengal. So now the Bangladesh is since 1971 is a new country, but before Bangladesh, so we have it's a wide range. So it is not not only geographically we are collaborating with West Bengal, but also that we have a civilizational exchange together. So we have a similar culture, similar language, and we share almost everything similar in between both sides. But now this in geographically that we divided after partition mostly in Bangladesh. But before in the past you can see that sorry, what's happening? Yeah. So in the past that we see that both two sides that you can see that red colored bold, West Bengal, Bangladesh, and here Assam, Mizoram, other stuff. So but mostly that when the Buddhism in Bangladesh, when we talk about, we cannot escape Chittagong. So mostly that at the moment the Buddhism is rooted from Chittagong, which is we say Chattogram. So it is the southern part of Bangladesh, and I mark it is Gaya. So as you all know, this is a root where Buddhism came from. So this Bongabhumi, what is that? We said land of Bengal that we can tell. We share the same, as I mentioned, the same culture, same language, same thoughts, almost same thought patterns as well, and at present day that we can encompass West Bengal of India and present day Bangladesh, we can combine together as a part of Bongabhumi or land of Bengal. So as it also represents that we share the same geographical, cultural, and religious landscape, almost same stuff that we share together. And Bongabhumi is not only a geographic term, but also a civilizational concept describing the historical homeland of Bengali-speaking communities. So behind the Bengali-speaking communities, I see my brothers and sisters and all the friends over there from Bengal. It's very, I feel like I'm in Bangladesh. So it's a civilizational connection that we have it. So we still get it here, and yeah. So that let us explore. So today I'm going to speak a little, just give some brief overview about Buddhism and Buddhist transmission in present-day Bengal. So start from early stage to contemporary time, and also share a little bit about Buddhist missionary activities in outside of Bangladesh and present-day challenge of Buddhist community in Bangladesh a little bit. So this landscape that I divided into that four stage of Buddhism, four parts. So we start from the early stage, since 2,600 years ago, and I divided into four stage. Maybe you can do the scholar can work more and more probably. But this is a brief overview that I like to you can see the landscape of this Buddhism. Start from early 6th century BCE and late 1st century, like I said, that is the early stage, and medieval period that I divided into from the 2nd century to 12th century. So it is mostly that at that time, Gupta dynasties, Pal dynasty, Korba dynasty. So mostly that this from this generation, Pal dynasties, the Pala dynasties contribution more prominent. So we talk, we share a little bit about we reflect from that part as well. And the colonial period, that's what mysterious time. Actually, after 12th century when the invader, arrived here. So that time it was totally changed. So still that we have some evidence that what happened, but still researchers need to spend more time on that. Still we don't know much, but scholar sometimes it can categorize this time frame as a dark age, as they say. And presented that start from mid 18th century. So when the Theravada Buddhist more flourished, so until now. So this part I share. Okay, so let us to see look back 2,600 years ago. We don't know what's happened. We don't have YouTube. We don't have a camera. So, but still, we get some information from record, from scholars, evident, from travelers, evident. So, what the first stage of Buddhism in Bangladesh? I mean, how it initiated. So, then you can see this map, like the Bengal is here, some part in here actually Bengal, Manga is an ancient name of Bengal or present-day Bangladesh. So Bengal is here and Magadha state. So 2,600 years ago, so Buddhism initiated from, after it initiated from India. So his teaching was flourished around Magadha. So Magadha was one of the great states among 16 Mahajanapadas that we came to know from Pali scripture, and it says that amongst 16, Magadha was one of the most prominent and prosperous regions, stretching from Pataliputra in the middle of the Magadha and present-day Bihar in the northern state of India to Banga or present Bangladesh. So it's believed that the range of Magadha probably it was extended until Bengal, until Banga, that part of area. So it was one of the hypotheses. Actually, this evidence, some of the scriptural evidence that we can get it from Pali text, from Anguttara Nikaya, we can see some terms. So etymologically, then we can see that at that time the state was named as Banga. So from Banga, Bangala, Bengal, and present-day Bangladesh. So it was time to time, it changed actually, from time to time, So from my investigation that I got in this way, maybe it can be more, maybe sometime it can be changed as the name was like Pundrabadhan or Pundra, maybe another form it was. But I got this Bangladesh, that present-day form, probably it could be, etymologically in that way. It is transformed. So we can say that early Buddhist, from geographically, the Banga is part of this, very close to Magadha. So it is possible. It's not possible that Buddhism was not initiated. It's possible. Buddha came himself. It's possible because he was roaming around. So during this, he traveled almost all over India. So why not Bengal at the time? So, I mean, Myanmar people was thinking that Buddha was Myanmar.
Yeah.
So if he was in Myanmar, which route that he followed? Probably this Arkan, probably is this. So then, according to Bengali mythology, legendary, so local people believe that Buddha probably visited a couple of times in the territory of Bangladesh. And scholar like present-day contemporary scholar Bangladesh, Professor Sanjoy Barua, one of the great scholars from Chittagong University, he retired recently. So he and Professor Shimul Barua, both of them actually agree that, yeah, it's possible. Actually, both of them work a lot about Buddhism in Bangladesh. Actually, my primary reference I get from Professor Sanjoy Barua from Bengal Buddhism in Bangladesh. He had a very good work. He produced some text on that. So he agreed that it's possible. He possibly the multiple times he visited in Bangladesh this time. And another hypothesis that you can see if you explore that Pali text, Nikaya text, mostly that Samyutta Nikaya, Anutta Nikaya, and Tharagata of Kuttaka Nikaya, we can see some character like Mangisa Thera or Mangisa Manga Nataputta. So this monk, they named this Manga, you can see this name, this character. So they claim that they came from the state of Bengal, or Banga. So since they came from Banga, so they're known as Bangisa or Manga Nataputta. So these people are definitely from from the territory of Bengal. So we can see some character. So this question that came to me that, I mean, if the teaching of Buddha was not reached in the territory of Bengal, how would they know of the Buddha's teaching? Probably the teaching entered somewhere, somehow. Maybe he went there sometime. Then maybe they heard about Buddha. So they can decide to become ordained as a monk and became disciple of the Buddha. Actually, from the text, like from the great 80 disciples of the Buddha, among 80, Bangisa Thera was one of them, one of the great disciples. And next is that how can you see from the travelers like Master Zhuanzhang, or in Bengali we say Huan Shang, and Master Zhuanzhang's traveler. So he was a Chinese traveler. So he traveled in the 6th century. When he traveled this Bengal territory, he heard that Buddha was traveled there in that time. He spent quite good time in Nalanda, in Bihar state. So Master Zhuanzhang, he documented that Buddha spent more than 6 months in Punjabadhan. So Punjabadhan is also known as the present-day one part of Bangladesh, Rajshahi, Bogota, most northern part. So, and Samatat, another East Bengal, Tamralipi, South and Southeast Bengal, and Kornosubano, West Bengal, for the purpose of spreading Buddhism. So, Zhuanzhang's record, the area of Samatha included, the Samatha, the place that we said present-day Dhaka, Chittagong, Bodishal, and Sylhet division of Bangladesh. So, it is this record you can get from Zhuanzhang. So this, you can see that his Zhuanzhang's travel record. So he traveled, all over along the way, East Asia, I think not Southeast Asia, East Asia, and of course South Asia as well. We can see that he traveled most of part of India and Tamralipi in Bangladesh. And yeah, this is his travel record that we came to know through the research here. Actually, this I'm very grateful to Ananda Judeviku. He made it actually, this map, this one, and this one is also recorded in Singapore Asian Civilization Museum. Okay. So, and another hypothesis that we can get it. It's very interesting actually. 11th century there was one Kashmiri poet. Her name was Shamendra. So this poet, 11th century, he recorded that, according to her narrative, the Buddha's visit augured with the request of Sumana, the daughter of Anathapindika. So the guy, he was one of the great benefactors of the Buddha. So his daughter married one guy who was from the Punjabadhan. So that time that now forgive her blessing in this wedding ceremony, Buddha traveled in this territory of Punjabadhan. That note actually we see from the text, Shamanjo's Sanskrit text, Buddhi Sattva Dhana Kalpalata. The text. It's very interesting actually, And then Punjabadhan, that we can see that Punjanagar, that present day, the territories included that Bogota, Rajshahi, Rangpur, Dhaka division, and West Dinajpur. Actually, it was a big territory, but we can say Bongabhumi, that entire Bengal, including West Bengal and present Bangladesh. This one. Okay, so and some we say some local narrative, that local legend, that how they believe. So local people from Chittagong, they believe that Buddha probably came here, when he was traveling by getting invitation from a king of Arakan. So he spent some time in Chittagong and Chakrashala, this area. So it's very popular place for Buddhist people for 1,000 years. So in the memory of Buddha's visit in Chakrashala, people still celebrate on the eve of New Year. We say Churo Shankranti in that day. So people offer candle, flowers in that area. So this area is still there. Interesting that around surrounding that area there was not much Buddhist. It's a bit far away, but still the place is well protected by the Buddhist people. And this was the earliest stage, maybe 100 years ago. The picture was taken. Actually, I collect this one from Shodolmaratnamala. It's actually from Dharma Maharaja's work. Yeah. And that one, this is the most recent that I got it. So it believed that Buddha maybe visit there, and he spent some time. So I think as I read a bit the things that maybe if you want to explore more, you can read one of my recent work. I contributed one article, one chapter actually in this volume. So you can have a look on that about the Buddhism stuff. Okay. Then another place, Ramkot Bonasam we heard. While Buddha visited in Arakan, so probably he spent some time over there. So according to local people, that this is also one of the important places that Buddha was, Buddha spent some time at the Ramkot Bonasam Bihar. So when he got invitation from King Mahachanda Surya. Actually, this is very interesting. Actually, it was that place, and how this place was discovered, unearthed in the beginning of the 19th century. This was a very interesting thing. Actually, it was unearthed by Chandramohan Mahastavid and another one, Jagat Chandra Mahastavid. So both of them is a teacher and disciple. And how they came to know it, how they discovered that place. Very interesting is that one of the texts they read, Arkanist text, is called Dhaya Wadi Bojayan. I'm sorry, my Arkanist pronunciation is very bad. So it's an Arkanist name, the text. So basically he was the one, when he traveled to Arakan in late 18th century, he got this text and he could read Arkanist language and Burmese manuscript as well. He found it, and at the time he brought his disciple, his name Jagat Chandra Mahastavid. The picture is not clear. Actually, I think this is the only one picture that we have it. I took it from Ramkot Bonasam Bihar. That was that the picture had. So both of them discarded the text, and unfortunately, before unearthed, he passed away, and the excavation is still not finished yet. Then after some time that he got some courage, and Jagat Chandra continued their journey. So then he bring his local friends, devotees, and they found that place exactly. It was was under some big ferocious jungle, some small hill. So they try to discover it slowly. At that time, they don't have any kind of modern technology or some other stuff. They did by themselves from their own courage. Yeah. They found it. They found this monastery inside this place, inside the hill. And you say that they also found some written, written rock-edit stone, which was written in Arkanist language. It was very old text. And that language was, what was written in that part of this rock edit, it was exactly the same that he wrote. He started from the Dharma, so the text from Arkan they discovered, and they found that maybe this is the place that Buddha was here, and he spent some time over there. So the inscription, according to this inscription they found, it mentioned that the Buddha and his disciples spent a night at Rangkot Banasam Bihar. So during this visit, the Buddha is said to have predicted that a future king, his name is Ashok, he will enshrine relic of the Buddha at that site, which would become known as Ramu Rangkot Chediya. So Emperor Ashok, actually, he sent Buddha relics to different places. So it was one of the places. But the thing is that, how to say, the Buddha statue, it was not built in the time. No.
Yeah.
Because in Ashoka's time, there was no Buddha statue. The tradition of a statue came much later. Even 500 years, 600 years later after Buddha passed away, the tradition came. Mostly that became popular, if I'm not wrong, during the time of Kanishka, Kushan dynasty, it just came. So that time Buddha relic was sent there, in Ramu Banasam, Bihar. Later on, they replaced on this Buddha, inside the Buddha. So the inscription, it was further mentioned that King Chedi, one king, and succeeded of Mahachanda Surya from Arkan, he said that it would construct a Buddha image carved from green stone, within which the Buddha's bone relics would be placed in the head of the statue. Actually, that according to this manuscript, that the rock-edit manuscript was found. And this site would thereafter become renowned, very popular until today. It's known as Rangkot Banasam Buddha Vihar. So you can see that what they found, after the excavation. So we still have some of the small evidence, you can say. And this story was written in the present day's wall. It was written in Bengal at the moment. So you can see some small thing here. Probably these are developed in the 5th century, 6th century, maybe in Pala dynasty time, probably. So it was found in after the excavation, Rangkot Banasam Buddha Vihar. Okay, so now we move to our second stage. So second stage that we can say that from the medieval time, we can period from the 2nd century to the 12th century. So next 1,000 years, what happened? We can have a look. So in early times, the Gupta dynasty, it was very dominating dynasty in India, and also Bengal also part of his kingdom, his dynasty. So in the time of Gupta dynasty, there was one traveler, Fahian. So the guy traveled. That time Bengal was known as Tandralipi. The name always change, different time and different name. So Tandralipi. So he saw that Fahian spent 2 years in that territory, Bengal territory, and he saw in his travel log he mentioned that he visited the Standing Buddha statue in Rajshahi district, and he saw the Bodhisattva Manjushri in Bogra district. He also recorded, he saw that a lot of monasteries were there. He saw this statue. So it was quite interesting that, during the time of Gupta dynasty, the Buddhist people mostly followed the Mahayana Buddhism there. So all the figures like Bodhisattva Manjushri and some character that we can see that mostly the Mahayana Buddhism in that time. So from that evidence that we can say that when Professor Dipakulasipian, he also agreed that the Mahayana Buddhist tradition was widely fostered at the height of the Gupta dynasty. So in this case, Bangladesh also, the time Bengal territory, Mahayana Buddhism was expounded. And this is some evidence that we can say, this statue was, from Gupta dynasty. We have in the Rajshahi Bollinger Museum, Bollinger Research Museum, we can see this standing statue, and also Bodhisattva Manjushri. And it was quite interesting, like we can see some use of bronze in that time. The statue, it's a bronze one, and it is the rock carving. I think it's a basalt rock, probably this one. And in the Gupta dynasty's time, that there's a lot of a scholar there. One of the scholars, Chandragupta. Actually, it made me a lot of impression that recently I got a trip to, your country, Los Angeles Country Museum of Art. So I found it, Chandragupta's one. Actually, it was from Bangladesh, this one. So you can see that from this statue that I found a small writing here, then I zoom it. Sorry, here, zoom it. I zoom in and I see that this is the, Mahasiddha Chandragupta. It was quite close. Of course, it's hybrid Sanskrit. Professor Miloshek knows very well. So it's actually Chandragupta was one of the great scholars for Mahayana and Vajrayana tradition. So he was living in Bangladesh. He from that part. So this one, if you have time to, you can visit here. Like me, very close. You can see this statue over there. So basically, it was from Gupta dynasty's time. Yeah, and one of his great texts actually found in Nepal. Sikshya Lekha, that like text. It was found in Nepal, not in Bangladesh. Nepal, it's found. So it's written in the Sanskrit character. Yeah. So then the next, after of course the Gupta dynasties, another great contribution is that they support for Nalanda Mahavihara. So Nalanda Mahavihara was probably it was fostered during the time of Gupta dynasty, and we can get to know this note from Chinese pilgrim Master Zhuangzhang. And according to his record, he said that King Shakrayaditya or Skanda Gupta, he established actually Nalanda Mahavihar. And that time both Mahayana and Vajrayana tradition strongly practiced over there. And you can say Bangladesh also one of the part of Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism during the time of Gupta dynasty. And after this, another dynasty dominated. It's called Khalga dynasty. It was lasted for not much long time, for 90 years. The Khalga dynasty. So this Khalga dynasty, another pilgrimage. We came to know his story. Chinese pilgrimage named Yijing. He recorded that King Deva Khalga and his successors actively supported Buddhist monasteries and religious institutions. In this travel account, Yijing noted that approximately 400 monasteries for monks and nuns exist in Samadha during the 6th century, indicating the strong institutional presence of Buddhism in this region. Actually, it's quite a lot, 400 monasteries during that time. That means it's huge. I don't know how many people, but there are not much people. Probably for each of the small village, they have their own monastery. So he counted approximately 400. It's a huge amount. It's huge. So another scholar, he's a very prominent scholar, he recently passed away, Professor Sanjoy Chowdhury from India. So one of his great texts, Contemporary Buddhism in Bangladesh, he said that archaeological discoveries, including images of Avalokiteshvara from India, and Bodhisattva Vajrapani from Shubhapur and Dhyana Buddha from Bhagerpur are associated with the Khalga period. So according to his research, he found some statue that discovered which is in the museum in India. So these are probably from Khalga dynasty, one of the great evidence that we can see. So this evidence strongly agree that Mahayana Buddha and Vajrayana tradition strongly fostered in that time. So we can see the next one, the Great Pala dynasty. It's very popular. It's popular for when you explore the Buddhism in Bangladesh. So mostly we came to know their works from Pala dynasty. So that time, the Pala kings strongly support to spread Buddhism in the entire territory. And under the patronage of Pala king, famous Buddhist sites such as Tikutaka, Bashu Bihar or Mahastangor, Shumpur Bihar at Pahalpur, the Shumpur Bihar, the picture that you can see from the flyer in the beginning. So then also Mainamati, Shalbon Bihar, Kanak Stupa Bihar, Kumilla. There's Pandit Bihar. Actually, there are so many, but whatever we came to know from so far. So this prominent site, prominent monastery. Actually, this was not a monastery. It was also, they practiced at all the educational part as well. That's why it's called the Mahabihar. Mahabihar. This one. Yeah. So at the height of this civilization, Pala dynasty revitalized Buddhist culture throughout the Bengal territory, Bengal Delta, until the both sides in West Bengal and East Bengal. We can see that here at work. And this is one of the Shompur Mahabihars. As we can see now the ruin actually. Now we can see we don't have the just like Nalanda. We can see just ruin with Mahabihar. It's a very huge actually, venerable. It's a huge. It's unbelievable. And you can see the carvings, the artifact, and there are some terracotta plaques. They are still beautiful. There's even 1,000 years ago they developed it. This tradition. It's amazing to explore actually. We still need to have a lot of research required. Still need to get more information on that. So, and the Pala dynasty, we can say that it is the time of Pala dynasty. We can say the renaissance of Buddhist propagation. From the 8th century to the 12th century at the time. And then that some statue that you can see, this one, first one, that from Asian Civilization Museum, that bronze Buddha's mandala. We can see that even they practice that mandala tradition, it's the Mahayana tradition, and also that the 8 signs for the life of the Buddha. We also can see that important 8 events. So this statue from Pala, so it was built during the Pala dynasty time. So there's some significant 8 scenes, like lying, Mahaparinibbana, or his all the Buddhahood, important event. And this is the standing one. I get it from the Asia Art Museum of San Francisco. This one, this is a very good museum actually. It's a lot of Buddhist collection. Amazing. This one. And here you can see that Buddha and one story, like one elephant. It was trying to attack to Buddha, a Nalagari elephant. Is awesome. So the whole story revealed through the art, stone carving art, still there. So this just example that is developed during the time of Pala dynasty. Still true. And during the time of Pala dynasty, there are so many great scholars, like one of the Shantideva, Acharya Shantideva, who wrote Buddhicharya Avatara, one of the fantastic texts. I think we studied together, right? Geshe Jampa. Yeah. So one of our great professor he was retired from Columbia University. Then he moved to International Buddhist College. So we studied at Buddhicharya Avatara under Geshe Das. Shantideva's 7 texts. He was actually from Bengal, from Chittagong. And another great scholar, Shantarakshita, who was a former chancellor for Nalanda Mahabihar. And he was the teacher of Shantarakshita, yeah. So he was author of the Madhyamaka Alankara. And also he was developed the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra as well. And another great scholar we know that from Pala dynasty is Atisha Dipankasingyan. He lived in the 10th century. His text, Buddhipata Pradadipa, is a very early text. Actually, based on this text, Lamrim Chenmo is developed. So Lamrim tradition came actually initiated by him. Lamrim Chen is a Tibetan name. So it's a very great text. It's 3 volumes of Lamrim. We used to study together under Geshe-la. Remember, long time ago. So yeah, this is Atisha from Dhaka, from Bengal, Dhaka. And we still feel that Atisha's birthplace still the present form. Last time that Shushila and I visited together this place from Dhaka, and Atisha's mural carvings with Bengali people, they strongly respect. Even it is a mural carving. It's a wall of Chittagong, some Jamal Khan area of Chittagong. There's mural carving here, and Atisha's only painting we have is in Metropolitan Museum of Arts. I can see that this one, the oldest one. This very beautiful Tonka, still 1,000 years old Tonka, got from Lhasa. This one. Yeah. So this Atisha is a very important figure, but he's represented one of the greatest scholars from Pala dynasty. So Atisha's relic, it was returned to Bengal, but he initiated Tibetan Buddhism in the 11th century. It's a very important figure for fostering the Tibetan Buddhism. So after his passing, 1,000 years later, led by one of the great monks, Vishuddhana Mahathera, he received the relics of Atisha in 1978, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 1978. And still now they're here, inside the relics is there. And there is one text, Atisha's text, it was written by him. It was given by Chinese government to Bangladesh during that time. So, and Pala dynasty's another contribution was to start the Bikramshila Mahavihara. Bikramshila Vihara is very important, but present located in Bihar state. But it was built by, supported by Dharma Pala, from the king of Pala. Yeah. Then another great thing that from Pala dynasty that we know that in that time one literature called Charyapada or Chapchapot was developed. It was actually very. It took a long time. It took almost 400 years to develop this text, according to record that we have. So this text actually found by Holy Prasad Shastri in 1907. Actually, you know where it got it from? Nepal. Actually, the Royal Library of Nepal. So when he was invited to visit his place, Holy Prasad Shastri, he got it. He found it. This Chajapot. It's one of the great literature, great poetic way it was written. So it was developed basically, from the time of Pala dynasty, and mostly Vajrayana traditions, tantric tradition. It was based on this Tantric and Vajrayana Buddhism. Okay, so now until 12th century Dharma. So moving fast. So now 12th century to 18th century, what happened? That's we say the darkest stage. This one. So after 12th century, that foreign invader, they came and they start this destruction from somewhere from Middle East Asia. So Ikhtar Muhammad Bhakti Kolji, according to record, that this guy, he and his fellow troops, army, they destroy Nalanda. So that time start to the dark age of Buddhism initiated. Of course, the religion, Buddhist and Hindu start to suffer after the foreign invader came to India. So that time, what happened actually? When this is a dark time, of course, Pala dynasty fall. But still, there is another surviving dynasty came. It's called Deva dynasty. For the short time actually, not long time. It was the last Buddhist dominating king dynasty in the after that time, from the 12th century to 13th century. We don't know the exact time actually, but it's a scholar related that way. So the time that they still continue to develop this monastery, to support monks and scholars, and we can see that Mainamati, Shalva Bihar in Mainamati, Kumilla district of Bangladesh. So we still can see their ruin, but it was developed basically in the time of Deva dynasty. Still see the beautiful carving actually. Still, you can see that the gate, the front gate of this monastery is still there. It's quite beautiful. Okay, so in the museum that we see some of the evidence, some stone Buddhist artifact from Mainamati Museum on Kumilla, Bangladesh. Then after this, we don't know exactly what happened. So then some of the evidence, some of the that was written by local scholars. So one of the scholar named one of the monk contribution is called Chandrajyoti Mahathera. So he lived in the 17th century, one monk. So we came to know some of his contribution during that time. So one of his contribution was so the place the Buddha visited, they have some chakrasam. So it is said that Chandrajyoti Mahathera, probably he helped in 15th century to depict the one chakrasam, one the wheel of Dharma, some inside, which was inside this stupa where the Buddha came before. And another evidence we can see that another record there's the Arya know very well about Buddha Goshai, one the statue. So the statue not completed, but it got just we just got it this hat.
Yeah.
So it was also brought by Chowdhury Mahathara in 15th century from Myanmar. So another thing also got Chowdhury Mahathara donated. He brought this statue from Myanmar to Ural Stobe in the 15th century, and this one found during the excavation of one hospital in Chittagong. Chittagong General Hospital, when they discovered late 18th century at the time. So, and then later they replaced to the one of Central Monastery in Chittagong, that one. So it is 15th century's contribution, the statue. So we are trying to explore, Buddhism during the Dark Age through the arts. Yeah. And then another thing that we can frame about another local legendary, it is one monk. He lived in 17th century, 1700 to 1780. So he practiced meditation at that time. So believed that one of the local benefactors named Shuklal Shubedar at the time, that Shubedar was one of the royal representative for
British title.
I think it's not from British. I think it's from the before British.
Yeah,
Before colonial time. Probably the Shaista Khan, from the king. Yeah, Mughal. It's a part of Mughal period. Yeah. So that time he supported to build this stupa or temple, 17th century. It's located in Unenpura, one village, Potia sub-district of Chittagong, Bangladesh. So, his name was, the monk name was Kangra Lah Mahathera. The name is a bit close to Arkan's name. Arkan's name. That time it's Arkan dominating. So, this is his cremated. His body was cremated in 17th century. And this temple is there now. It's still there. It is the monastery where he would practice meditation. He was a deep meditator during that time. It was local have a lot of mythological stories based on his legacies in that time. So we just came to know some of this stuff, but we still don't know it exactly. But that doesn't mean that Buddhism was not there. But there's another hypothesis that during that time, Rauli tradition, there's another tradition, Rauli tradition or Luri tradition developed. So this was close to very neither Theravada or neither Mahayana. It's another tradition. There's still some scholars that are working on that. So just for information that this Rauli tradition, they strongly claim that the tradition came from Buddha's son Rahula. So maybe Rahula, when he was sent for propagating Buddhism, he came to the Assam area. Probably he spent some time in Assam and the Chittagong or Bangladesh side. So Rauli tradition, they strongly claim in that way. So anyway, so this is still Dark Age, so we don't know much more than that. Maybe scholars could be working, they can take out some more information on that. So now that we come to try to hit the modern Buddhism, modern stage. So we can see the modern stage start from 1850s, but we cannot say that this is the kind of reformed Theravada, they started reforming the Theravada tradition. It was led by, according to the scholar point of view, it was led by Sadhavada Monastery from Arkan, and also that Chunpundacha Chandra Mohan Monastery as well. But still have a lot of works, a lot of controversial stuff still. But still, it is believed that modern Theravada Buddhism initiated by them. And after this, that there are two Buddhist traditions, two Buddhist Nikaya developed. One is called Mahasturi Nikaya, and this is called Sangaraja Nikaya. So those Nikaya have their own patriarch in that time. So they are, it is the images of each Nikaya's patriarchs. Sorry, that this time there are 14 patriarchs, 14 Sangaraja, but I did not include his picture. And this some of the images from the Mahasturi Nikaya, and still this is the present patriarch for the Mahasturi Nikaya. So, but even the two tradition, two Nikayas there, but all are, it's not much difference. It's like a Thailand. Thailand have also two Nikaya, like Dhamma Nikaya and Mahanikaya. Sri Lanka too, right? Sri Lanka have 9 or 6, three Nikayas. Myanmar also have a lot of 5 or 6 something. But they do the same thing, same Theravada tradition. They follow the same denial stuff, same thing. They do the same thing. So these are the supreme practices for images for each Nikaya. And presented that it's quite interesting. Like presented that Buddhist people are very tiny amount. We can say that 0.6 according to data from 2022 from people from population and housing census from Bangladesh the side. So you can say out of 160 million that approximately 2 million approximately, it maybe can be more or can be less. Just predict approximately people live in, where people are Buddhist. So most of Buddhist people are living this side, the southern part, Chittagong. You can see the yellow spot, and some Dinajpur, some Dhaka, for the work purpose. But the root mostly from Chittagong, Kumilla, they say here, southern part. And that Buddhist community that we have a lot of, like you can see my surname, Barua, Chakma, another Marma, Kisha, Tongchinga, Rakhine. So this is a community, but each community has their own legacy. They claim that they are very directly related to Buddha's teaching or Buddha's legacies. Like Chakma, they claim that they come from Shakya, Shakya tradition. Of course, my friend Medos is also Shakya. He's from Shakya family, Buddha's family. Lead Buddha. Yeah. So it's each of the traditions that have their own legacy. Chakma, Marma, Rakhine, all that stuff. This community that they're living. And of course, the Buddhist festival that we do the same way like other Theravada countries do. We have an important event, is the Visakha Puja Day, the commemorating the Buddha's birth, Mahaparinibbana, and his enlightenment. And we also celebrate widely the Katina ceremony. It's very big, not like Thailand. Thailand just do the few hours, but Katina is for us a big thing. We have to wear a new cloth, should be. and it's like a big festival actually. Even the Katina, we celebrate for 1 month. Yeah. We visit each of the village in the time. It was quite very amazing tradition actually. They do, we have another important event like Madhu Purnima, like the Hannibal offered in celebrating the monkey. It could be history that monkey offered honey to Buddha. So that festival that we celebrate very widely. And another one that's important is Pravalana. We have a Skyline festival. It's very interesting. So Pravalana Purnima is we have a launching Skyline in the sky. I'm sure that US is not allowed for doing that. And at the moment, it's a bit terrible. I think in Dhaka also sometimes they try to stop it because it happens a lot of accident, so it can make it. But anyway, it's an amazing festival. In Chittagong, it's the whole sky is like a lighting, lighting is first, it's just moving and around the sky. Whole is, even a small community Buddhist, but it's amazing to see. And of course, it's celebrated not only Buddhist people, but also our Hindu friends, the Muslim friends, and Christian community. Everyone come together. Yeah, and sometimes the program is launched, initiated by some government official. They start to launch this program. So it's quite interesting, very nice. And we have a Buddha Puja, we offer to the Buddha, like Sri Lanka, they do it, and light, lettering, and candling. So we also do some fruit and do it. We just offer it. And sky, also some image like the basic thing that other Theravada countries they do, Sangadana event. We just taking 5 precepts or 8 precepts and offering to the monk. Monks offer Dhamma talk for them in the Sangadana as well. And also it is one of the picture for Katina ceremony. But this is very interesting. Like this Chibor, it is a very unique tradition. It was built by 24 hours. According to the Buddhist tradition that Visakha told, within 24 hours. And a lot of people involved just make one room. So it is a Chakma king. It's a Chakma king, Devashish Rai. He offered this one to His Holiness Balavante, Sadhananda Mahastavi Bhanavante. He was one of the great monks actually for modern Buddhism. He is known as, because his meditation teaching and Dhamma talk is very famous. He passed away in 2012, if I'm not wrong. But his legacy is very important for propagating Buddhism in Bangladesh. So the time, during his time, in the 70s, the tradition started, but until today. They make the rope, just one rope, but thousands of people, I think million people sometimes, million people involved, just make one rope. Everyone like to help. Everyone cooperate.
Just touching for the punna.
Right. So this is Karen. I love to do that actually. Yes, I love it. Whenever I get chance, I do that. So when it was me and my mother, we just just do this Karen. It's in the time of Pravarana time. It's very nice. It's a very nice festival. I love it. I did get a chance in Thailand, but I do often. I go back to Bangladesh. If I go attend this time, I do it definitely. I participate in this celebration. So that's it. And of course, the missionaries, so things. We're still not Buddhism in present day. We not only stuck in Bangladesh, we stay here. Even I see my brothers and sisters from in the US, in the West Coast. So we stay with some missionary activities. So missionary activity, Buddhist missionary activities done by through the two ways. One is through the philanthropist way, and the other is through studying the meditation. So from philanthropist and altruistic activities, it was initiated by Karmayogi Kipashala Mahathera in the late 18th century. He was one of the very pioneer figures, Kipashala Mahathera.
Yeah.
And also the other one is the Vishuddhana Mahathera. Both are very, very, very important. Without them, we can't imagine modern Buddhism in Bangladesh. And I think we can have a different talk maybe for about this contribution on that. So this is a very important figure for missionary activities outside of Bangladesh. Of course, they also unified Buddhism inside Bangladesh as well. And another inside meditation practice, basically by in 80s, Dipama, who is known as Dipama, Nonibala Barua, she's from Bengal. So he doesn't know any English, but her teaching is very, very, very popular here. So some at the present day, like Jack Confield, Sharon Salzberg, her brilliant student, they brought her to IMS, Insight Meditation Institution Society in East Coast, and also that the Spirit Rock to Amy Smith make a very nice book about Dipama. And another was Anagari Muninjoji. I think Muninjoji is from your place, probably.
He from
Damsha.
Shatkania.
Sushil's area.
Yeah.
Shatkania. So he also came to US along the 1970s, so they make a lot of contribution for that. But these two monks, like Kipashala Mahathera and Shanganak Vishuddhana Mahathera, without them, we can't imagine the Buddhism modern Bangladesh. I mean, they're like a pillar, you can say. Without their contribution, can't imagine. Anyway, so Kipashala Mahathera's his contribution, I just wrote a little bit about his Dhammankur Mahavihar in
West Bengal.
In West Bengal, Calcutta. He's 18th century. This is the first temple actually. And he and Anagari Dhamapal, they worked together for make it happen. And he not only supported to initiate the Buddhist temple and other stuff, he also, skillfully, skillful means skillfully, he also helped to build up educational institution, more than 30. So that time, colonial time, it's not possible, but he used his wisdom to how to build it. So maybe you can have a look by one of my articles, the Kipashala Mahathera. I keep this link, so you can have a look on this. I just do that briefly, but I still did a lot of research on that, but the contribution of Karmayogi Kipashala Mahathera. So another thing that I'd like to mention that in India, in the logical subject, brought in for the first time by Dr. Benimada Barua.
Yeah.
He started initially from Kolkata University. But Benimada Barua's earlier life, he got huge support from Kipashala Mahathera. They worked together in the very beginning. So then they, inspired from Kolkata University, Dhaka, Chittagong, and other universities of Britain, in the logical course, like Buddhist studies course, Sanskrit studies course. The Kipashala Mahathera have a great of course, Bengal Barua's name also we should be respect him, his contribution. And Dipa Ma, of course, Dipa Ma that she's another pioneer. She brought the Bengali Buddhism, tradition, meditation technique to the West, when she doesn't know any single word of English. So, but her all the students like Joseph Goldstein, Jack Cornfield, or Sharon Salva, they are the very big giant name for the U.S. side.
Boston.
That had Boston. Yeah. But her teacher was Dipa Ma. So you can see that in Sharon's, Jack Cornfield and Dipa Ma and Sharon and actually it should be Diparma.
Yeah.
It should be Diparma. But I think that it became like Dipama. But they
Yeah.
can't. The Westerners maybe they can't pronounce. They take out that R. Yeah. Should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this diplomas have a huge actually contribution to that. So she captivated foreigner through the Spanish Vipassana movement, Muslim meditation. I think she was a student from Mahasi Yadav, India, from Myanmar. Mahasi Yadav. So her tradition, she taught very simple way, and we still have some record of Dipama's teaching, some record. And she speaks, you can see that her language is pure Chittagong dialogue.
Yeah.
It's very pure. I heard few of the record. She has a huge contribution of spreading, bringing the Bengal Buddhism to the outside of Bengal. You can say. And the Bengal Buddhism actually not to stop. We like to make it temple. Actually, we like to make it some small institution. So in the East Coast and West Coast, we have some Bengal Buddhism institution. I think it is maybe in New York City. No? A few years ago, I was visiting there. Yeah, New York City. That time, I visited some of the Sangadana ceremony of some monks. So I took it. So in New York, have I think quite few monasteries there. So we have some monasteries in outside of Bengal also, but it's Bengali Bangladeshi based basically. So in Brahma Vihar Monastery in
Long Island.
Yeah. So it's Venerable Shuktananda, right? Dr.
Yeah.
Shuktananda, he's the founder for this temple. There's 9, I think it can be more, maybe 9. I know that about 9 monasteries in here.
Yeah.
Probably could be more. Maybe I can
Almost 10 now.
Almost 10 now, right? Okay, maybe it's now getting more.
Yeah.
So then there's Shadhananda Shadhananda Buddhist Temple in Brooklyn, in New York, so a few years ago. And another one is that Bangladesh Buddhist Bihar in New York. I think they have now 2 temples.
Yeah.
I think this temple have 2. And in the West Coast have I think you know that Dr. Silavananda Thera, he made the one temple here, Shambhuti Bihar, local in recently I visited. Yes,
Long Beach.
Alumni.
Yeah, you are alumni. Oh, fantastic.
Got PhD from us.
Wow.
PhD from us.
PhD from the US. Oh, wow. So he contributed to build this temple in Long Beach.
Long Beach.
And another one also is the California Buddhi Vihar. I think it was a fast one, right? Fast temple in the West Coast. Yeah, California Buddhi Vihar. Recently we visited there. That one, and also it was mostly not only stuck in US, in the Canada as well. In Toronto have some. I think one. And I saw another one is in Montreal.
Yeah.
Montreal as well. So Buddhist is Bengali Buddhism is it's prospering. We are missionary activities says that's growing. And now there's of course talk about the hard part challenge at the moment. So yes, we have a lot of challenge. I just saw that our most biggest challenge is we got it 2012. It was even there so many incidents happened. 2012 it was a massive incident happened. More than 30 monasteries was burned, and 200 houses, Buddhist people houses burned. But it's still now a lot of incident happening in Rangamati, Kaklachori. But some information, some news are coming into this mainstream media, but some is not. So it is where that time it was very hard time actually. Very hard time. This one. So this temple is actually very old temple. I think your place,
Yes.
close to your place. So it was totally completely burned, and this statue was probably more than 500 years. And in that temple have so many manuscripts, and all are gone. palm leaf manuscript, original one, all has gone. Time. So during the time, the vandalization came from extremist people. So this is some image that we have it. So that time is one monk, our Shuddhapi Mahatma. His statement was very very heart moving statement. He said that he gave an interview in one of the media, Prathamado newspaper, and Buddhist as well. And also he traveled to Geneva at the time, and he also told that what happened. He was a senior monk, great monk. He passed away. So he said that how to explain this vandalization. He said, my civilization is lost. My lifetime of worshipping has gone in vain. I am a lost man, and lost I will be. Please save my future generation, please. That's his very moving statement that we saw that during that time. So yeah, so many things happening, still now happening. I don't know, future, I don't know. But I hope that they continue their legacy. So even we now come the conclusion part, Buddhism in transmission in Bengal region is traditionally traced to the time of the Buddha and continued for nearly a millennium, for 1,000 years. So more than 2,000 years, to 600 years have passed since the introduction of Buddhism in the territory of present-day Bangladesh. The Buddhists of Bengal Delta are therefore regarded as among the earliest Buddhist communities in South Asia. We can predict in that way. One of the earliest traditions that got the Buddhist transmission from the Buddha himself directly, but still they are continuing the tradition. So from that context, maybe this tradition is 2,600 years old. And even they have a lot of challenge, a lot of including foreign invasions, or colonial rule, or post-colonial political transformations. But this community, Buddhist communities in Bangladesh, have preserved their Buddhist faith, practice, and cultural identity, still continuing with the big way, in large way, with big pride, still continuing their tradition. And the historical transmission of Buddhism in this region is present an important milestone in South Asian history, contributing significantly to the development of Buddha's culture, literature, scripture, and monastic tradition. So even it has a glorious tradition in the past. It very prosperous in the Pal dynasty. From the 8th century to 12th century, it said that Bengal Buddhism, it was the glorious past. Sometimes they say Buddhist Renaissance.
Golden Age.
Golden Age, sometimes they say. Renaissance, I think it's a European word more. Renaissance, yeah. So that, but then it was fall down. But now, whatever tradition they have, whatever tradition, they still they continue their tradition, Buddhist transmission in Bangladesh. So thank you very much for all of your attention and coming over the long way. And also thank you again, Professor Meir Shakir, my good friend, and also Honorable Sinanda for a long time. And also all everyone for your attention. So if anything in question or anything in comment or anything, then I'm very happy to.
Thank you so much for your insightful and very engaging talk. We learned a lot about the Bangladesh Buddhism. It's very important for even from Mahayana perspective, because birthplace of great Panditas, artisans, Sandarachita, and Santideva. I myself practice Dharma, Mahayana Buddhism, so I'm very thankful for